What the heck is going on? Yes, it appears as if we have a brand new Pokémon. This comes from the first episodes of the new anime series Pokémon Horizons, so very clearly this thing has some kind of relationship to the previously revealed Terapagos. Just very surprising we get this reveal from the anime as opposed to any other means, but it's not like that hasn't happened before, they do it all the time. Because of that, we know very little about this crystalline turtle creature. In the context of the episode, Liko, the protagonist, has a pendant that briefly transforms into this Pokémon and surrounds her in a sphere of hexagons protecting her before transforming back into her pendant. Subtitles have not been posted yet, but it's evident that this is meant to be vague and mysterious by nature in order to build up a story. Again, this Pokemon has some kind of relationship to Terapagos, which we know as the big legendary Pokemon behind the terrestrial phenomenon, which will also be the focus of the upcoming Indigo Disc DLC for Scarlet and Violet. Because of just how big a role Terapagos plays in the video games, I wouldn't think that this Pokemon is exactly a pre-evolution. It worked with Cosmog and Solgaleo and Lunala because while they were powerful, they didn't have a deity-like status as some other Pokemon do. Solgaleo and Lunala were not one-of-one Pokemon. But with what's being established for Terapagos, it appears as if that isn't the case. It seems like there is only one Terapagos. And with this Pokemon being contained within a pendant, possibly a fragment of a larger crystal, I think this is more of a case of how Carbink relates to Diancie, or maybe how the cells relate to Zygarde, which by the way were also revealed in the anime before the video games. With just how powerful the Terra Crystals are, I wouldn't doubt that parts of it could just become their own Pokemon. But a curious thought that I also had is that if this Pokemon can transform into a smaller dormant form, could that be why we haven't seen Terapagos itself? Could the large massive crystals underneath the region just be Terapagos resting in that form? And maybe something in the DLC will happen to trigger it to wake up. Though I'm not going to rule out the idea of a straight up pre-evolution as the relationship between these two, especially with how legendary Pokemon have been treated as of late in the video games. More so as creatures we meet early on in the story that will eventually have an evolution or transformation triggered by the friendship that we have with it or something. Also, I'm not sure if we as the player character will have a similar role to Liko in the DLC, where we were entrusted with a pendant that turns into a Pokemon and eventually evolves into Terapagos. But that's still all on the table. It would even serve as another explanation as to why we haven't seen this Pokemon running around in Area Zero. Maybe the old one passed away and now the baby is meant to be raised in its place? All just more ideas we can throw around because aside from the existence of these two, we know next to nothing. Which is why I haven't really discussed Terapagos all that much until today's revelation. Aside from the information we knew from the video games, what was I gonna say after the DLC announcement like, yeah, we were right, there is a big crystal turtle? For now, the point is that we have a brand new Pokemon that will be playing a major role in both the anime as well as the upcoming DLC. I think I would prefer to know less about these crystal turtles until later this year, because the anime will be progressively building a story around them and I would rather have more surprises be saved for the video games instead of the trailers. I think this was a pretty perfect execution for the first few episodes of the anime and it's kind of cool getting to see a new Pokemon revealed through them once again. I normally don't discuss the anime as it airs, so don't get too used to it, especially because a big Pokemon potentially slamming me for it, but keep an eye out for my spin-off podcast which might continue, not sure if the pilot was well received enough. Either way, let me know what you think about the new baby turtle Pokemon and how it relates to Terapagos. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going back to sleep to dream about the future. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, especially the great Gators, Brandon Mork, Cheeseburger Lasers, Gavnuts, Justin R, Cosmo Zero, Michaela, Quago, Volity, and Pastel Blood. If you would like to support, get your name shouted out here as well as access to emotes for comments and live streams as well as early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes, but anyway, this has been GatorEX, I'll catch you all later.
The open world of Paldea awaits. Out here, you can meet new Pokémon. It's your world, your way. Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet. Rated everyone.